You are now tuned in to DAR Sports Media, the college football show, and we have a fucking loaded program tonight. Huge news breaking in the world of college football. Plus, we have our CFP brackets set. Since next week's schedule is a little bit sketchy, I think we're going to be doing some predictions and some picks tonight, along with everything else. We got a loaded panel here with us ready to rock. The big news breaking just before we come on here. Words that I don't know if any of us ever thought we would be speaking. Legendary, the most legendary coach of all time, Bill Belichek, signing on a 5-year deal to become the new head coach of the North Carolina Tar Heels. This news is so fresh and so shocking. I don't even know if I've got a fully formed, developed opinion on it as of yet. Although my initial thing was, from what the rumors were during his interview process with NFL teams, he still wanted to run the whole show wherever he went, and NFL owners were not so keen to let him do that anymore, owing to what the roster had become up in New England. So I guess this is his way, entering the college game to be the guy running the whole show and have everything go through him and play general manager as well. Although he did bring in a general manager, Mike Lombardi, writer, TV personality. You might not know the name, but I guarantee you've seen him on ESPN talking draft, things like that. So, I've always thought that the North Carolina program, the football program, was a sleeping giant. Super talent-rich area to recruit from. Belichek, the rumors, he hadn't said any of this himself. This is all from behind the scenes, things that people know, is that his plan is for this to basically be, this is an on-ramp to the NFL. We are going to basically put you into an NFL program, the same weight training, the same nutrition, the same coaching techniques, the same discipline, the same everything. And our program, when the draft comes around, coaches and GMs in the NFL are going to know what they're getting from our program. This, it's supposed to be like almost an NFL prep school type program. He had like a 400-page thing with staff finances and nutrition plans, and it's fucking crazy. And that's, it's basically the first person that we've seen other than like Dion, but in a different way, to like fully, I don't know if exploit is the right word, but to fully attack the modern college football landscape in this way with, like a salary cap plan and, not a salary cap, but a financial plan, basically acknowledging, hey, I know what you guys want out of college football now. I know you're here to get paid. I know you're here to go on to the next level. We're going to give you all those things to do that. I'm sure more information about how this is going to work and what things are going to happen going forward is going to be in play. But just insane news, and insane. As the other, since True's not in here yet, the other resident old head in the chat there, Axe, who has seen and absorbed as much of Bill Belichick's run as I have. Thoughts, man? This is wild.
Honestly speaking, I feel like the past few years, respectfully, the game has kind of passed him by. He didn't really make good draft picks with the Patriots. Like a lot of those guys flamed out in the league. Then the whole affair with Matt Patricia, making him a defensive coordinator, then an offensive coordinator, and that whole thing was kind of nasty. And I don't think these kids are going to give a fuck about the Patriot way. Like, kids are in college to have fun. Like, him trying to be a dictator, I don't really see that working out, man. And then he didn't even like paying free agents when he was in New England.
You're not wrong that kids are in college to have fun, but that's kind of what I'm getting at. Is like, that's what this, like, what you're getting into when you sign up for this program. We ain't here to have fucking fun. We're here to get you to the NFL.
I dig it. I just don't think that his style of coaching is going to resonate well with college kids. Now, you're going to have some, he's going to put out some NFL players. I'm not going to say he won't. I just think overall it's not really going to work. I don't think they're going to be good. I just feel like his dictatorship type of my way or the highway shit He didn't even like paying free agents in New England. Like, imagine an NIL kid, 18-year-old, come in like, yo, I need $1 million and boom. But like, that ain't working with him. I just don't see how it's going to work.
You know, I get where you're coming from. I think it's, again, I think if you commit to go there, that's what you're going there for. You know, as somebody who has a lot of experience, obviously, with another level of disciplinary communication to those same age level of kids, a lot of those guys, you know, not to get too touchy, but like a lot of those guys show up like that's all they've ever wanted. That's been my experience.
Yeah, he's gonna kill it with the
line. They want a positive male role model who wants the best for them and is there for their advancement. As long as they have the credibility to back it up, and ain't no fucking buddy more credible than Bill fucking Belichek. So, but you know,
like he's gonna kill it with the offensive lineman, the defensive lineman, but the skill positions, positions, I don't see it, bro. I don't think that. Work.
But who has more clout to build a better coaching staff than Bill Belichick? We don't even know who his OC is going to be. We don't even know who his wide receivers coach is going to be. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? That's a big part of how Dion has it rocking up there in Colorado. Dion has all these connections. He has all this clout. He has all these people he can call to come in and be his position coaches and his coordinators.
That's a great point.
That gets the guys in.
My last point, though, like that's a great point, but they asked Tom Brady, Gronk, and Julian Edelman, what do they think about him coaching college? They like, that shit ain't gonna work at all. Like, you think he's more like they even said like hell no. Tom Brady said it first. He's like, that shit ain't gonna work. So I don't see it. I just don't think his personality is gonna mesh with the college kids. You gotta be high energy. You gotta like kind of give a fuck about what they're going through. Like Bill has no emotion. It's not going to work to me, man.
Hey, he's been practicing relating to people in that age group for the last couple of years with his girlfriend. So good to go. Tay, as someone who is closer to that age group and we're on the other end of it, what do you think of this, man?
I like it. And, you know, he's trying to do something new. He has nothing left to prove in the NFL. I think they'll be pretty good. Like maybe not next year, but in the next coming years, like by the time that contract is up, I can see North Carolina. No, they will be in the playoff at some point within that time frame. Like I don't see why not. And I disagree on the whole thing on the game that's passed him by. That's not true at all. His specialty was defense, and Bill Belichick from day one, he's always had a top 10 defense from whatever Patriot year you can pull up. His defenses never fell off. Like no matter the talent, no matter the roster, whoever's on the team, the defense was always good. So I disagree with that. North Carolina's going to have good defense for sure every year. That's stamped and sealed for me. So I don't agree with the game.
Those dudes are getting ready to jump in the fucking portal. Does it get any more? Does it get any more opposite of fucking coach personalities going from Mac Brown to fucking Bill Belichick?
Wow.
Yeah. Lee Harvey, what'd you think when you saw it?
Jeez. This is a move coming from a guy who knows he's not getting another NFL job. And it's all right to do different things. Like we all want to do different things in life. I don't know how this is going to work unless he gets that kind of patience from North Carolina. Not to win 10, 11 games right away in year one. It's got to be a process in order for this to work, and in order for his son to come in and be the head coach as well down the line.
I forgot about that part. That was part of the guarantee, is that his son is the head coach in waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, well, I guess we'll see. Drew, same thing to you with what I said to Axe, as far as like, we're me, you, and Axe are the old heads in the chat who have absorbed, the greatness of Bill Belichick's run. What do you think of this move, man? Bill Belichick, 5-year deal with North Carolina, going to run the show down there.
I'll be interested to see how those first 2 years go. And how that plays out. I think I agree with Tay in terms of defense. I mean, we know Belichick is, he's amazing when it comes to, putting together a defense and executing, but I'm skeptical a little bit of this move. A little skeptical. I don't know how well it's going to work out in the long run. 5-year deal. I don't know if it goes to. I don't know if it's going to be a situation where he's wanted after the second or third year, or if he wants to be there after the second or third year. I think a lot of jobs look nice from afar until you get them, and then you realize kind of what that entails. So, Belichick is Belichick, and his reputation precedes him. But I think he might not know what he's getting himself into with this. But I do agree with Lee. I don't think he was really gonna end up getting another NFL job for whatever reason. It just didn't seem like the NFL is something that he either. I mean, I don't know if it was like super lack of interest from other teams, or just maybe he just doesn't want to be there. But it just doesn't feel like.
The rumor was that he still wants to run the whole show with whatever team he goes to, and none of the owners wanted him to be a GM.
But that ain't gonna happen. Yeah, that ain't gonna happen, Bill. That ain't gonna happen, old William. That's not gonna happen. So I think it'll be interesting. Be interesting, man. North Carolina, obviously that's a school with a lot of history. That's a Tar Heels. I don't know how it's gonna work out in the long run. But that first year, I think might be very interesting. But I think by year 2 or 3, it's gonna be hell for both parties. Both him and both for the team. I don't think it's going to be a perfect marriage because of, I guess, what it is. He is very much a guy that likes to be clearly in control of wherever he is. It's evidenced, as you mentioned, by the ages of the women that he dates. So there's an interesting thing there with him. So I think the defense will be good. We'll see how the offense goes.
Speaking of in hell, guys are gonna have to clear out a little bit. Let me get my Kyrie on. Let me play some ISO ball here. My good friends over there in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, they're all in hell this week, aren't they? It's a shame. There's only 2 situations where people holler out, roll tide if they're in big Alabama games and when they're fucking their cousin. And only one of those things is going to be happening in the next fucking month and a half because y'all did not make the fucking playoffs. And I saw all kinds of Alabama fans crashing the fuck out this weekend saying all sorts of shit that made no fucking sense. I saw people, this is the level of mental anguish these people are in. I saw somebody talking about out of conference schedule. Well, we're going to make, I swear to God, someone said this exact thing. They said, we're going to make out of conference schedule real weak since it seems like number of wins is the only thing that matters. Motherfucker, yes! You have to win games to get into the fucking playoffs. No shit. Like, they said it like the gaslighting, like that was crazy. Like, oh, I guess we got to win a lot of games to make it in. You motherfuckers are so arrogant that you thought that little fucking block A, which stands for ass hat, fucking was going to get you in to the playoffs on its own. It didn't. You think that I guess, you guys get ready because they're just going to not play any big out of conference games anymore. Like that's some sort of a fucking threat to the rest of us. No one gives a fuck what your fucking clown asses do. Your fucking Billy Bob cannot count after you get to fucking finger 10 fucking asses do because you're all probably missing a toe or two. The fuck out of my face. Oh, you better watch it. Like, we fucking care if you don't schedule out of conference. Furthermore, what's hilarious, there's several things that are hilarious about the out of conference fucking comments that I was seeing, that they're not going to schedule any more big out of conference games because of this. They're just going to make an easy schedule. They can win. Y'all had an easy out of conference schedule this year. And furthermore, if you had a couple of top 15 teams in your out of conference schedule, that might have saved you from not making it with your 3 losses. Hello? Fucking, what are you talking about? Your out of conference schedule wasn't even difficult this year, and it would have helped you. So if you want to go forward, if you would have had a even weaker, everyone said, oh, we'll just play the SWAC. We'll just play the SWAC. If you had just played the SWAC, you wouldn't even be in the top 25 right now with your 3-loss ass, let alone almost making the playoffs. Get the fuck out of here. Suck on it. Sit and rotate. Bunch of bitch-ass motherfuckers. Anyways, what were your guys?
Tell them why you mad, son. Tell them why you mad, son.
I'm not mad. They're very fucking mad. I remember we had a boss that was like the biggest Bama fan. And that year, he rode around with this big Bama flag on his fucking truck, like an actual flag, like billowing in the wind as he drove around. And that year that Clemson paddled that ass in the national championship game, me and my other coworker, we would look at each other, we were just laughing. We were just like quivering, waiting to fuck with him, right? And we go outside of that parking lot, and we saw him out there just lowering the flag down. There goes the flag. I'm like, you know what? That's enough. That motherfucker's hurt. Beautiful thing when Alabama fans got to eat it. What do you think, man? X, Alabama, in or out? We said at the beginning of the year, how many is it going to take? And we thought we were wrong. Incorrect. The correct answer was 3 losses. Goddamn.
Well, I'm personally glad they didn't do the SEC dick eating like they usually do. And they was actually fair to these other teams, especially since even though SMU didn't close the deal last Saturday, they really played well against Clemson. And Bama only got themselves to be mad at because they lost to 2 6-6 teams by double digits. So their own fucking fault, really. I don't feel bad for them motherfuckers. And I hope it continues, to be honest with you, because they have a wild amount of arrogance through this whole Nick Saban shit.
Yes.
And they just feel like you're just supposed to bow down to them. Like, oh, we in the SEC. Like, y'all didn't even play like you said, a crazy tough schedule in the SEC. So I'm personally glad that it happened. And I'm looking forward to see what these
the other way around. You're talking about out of conference schedule. Maybe, so if your conference is so much better, then yeah, you should schedule a couple of top 20 teams from the other conferences and plainly demonstrate that. So if you're out there whooping these teams from these other conferences, and then you take a couple of losses in your conference, then that should be fine because it's so much better, right? Right? Yeah. Tay, what do you think, man? We were right. 3 losses. Bama's out.
Yeah. Like I said, they should only be blaming themselves. I mean, 3 losses is a lot to think you deserve a spot in any playoff form. Like, they just didn't have a good year. Like they had a good win, but just overall, just losing to Oklahoma and Vandy, that's just like, come on, man. Like, you don't lose to both of them and expect to get in the playoffs. Like it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any. Like they're solid. Like they can get back to the playoffs next year, but not this year. I'm kind of surprised though that they actually left them out.
They actually went through.
Certain.
Yeah.
I was almost certain they were going to put them in, but now they left them out. I mean, it's not like they're needed. Like, there's other great teams to watch. Like, we don't need Alabama to be there. A bunch of teams. It's so much.
That's what
more.
Alabama fans need to fucking absorb is we don't need you.
Yeah, we don't.
The only reason I would have been happy about them coming in because it's so damn fun to see them get their ass whooped. So that would have been enjoyable had they made the playoffs and got fucking whooped on.
Yeah.
Lee, Alabama's out.
And they needed to. Man, because you mentioned their non-conference schedule. They played South Florida,
Trash.
who
Who they almost got beat by.
I was going to say they struggled with for 3.5 quarters, and they played Wisconsin. They weren't good at all this year either. I mean, if you had played SMU out of conference, if you had played,
yes,
I don't know, a K-State or Iowa State, that would have, and maybe have won those games, lost a close one, who knows? The committee would have been in their favor. But when you score 3 points to an Oklahoma team who...
Yeah, you got fucking smoked by Oklahoma, who sucks. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Get out of my face.
Yeah. And the benchmark was 3 losses anyway. They knew that. We knew that. So, no, I'm glad SMU's in the playoff.
Somebody said, oh, they don't have any, SMU don't have any ranked wins, but they also don't have any unranked losses. They lost by 1 score to 2 top fucking 20 teams. So, bam, nuts on your chin. What do you think there, True?
I mean, I'm pleased. There's really not much to say about it. I didn't think we've talked about it, ad nauseum on this show. Like, I mean, Bama wasn't good. They weren't as good as we're used to seeing them be. And I know that, they probably wanted them to be in the playoff, but they couldn't get it done. They couldn't maintain and couldn't win games that most people would say that they should have won. Like I think Tay mentioned the Vanderbilt game, Oklahoma game. Like you lost, and it is what it is. 3 losses. That's a blemish when you're trying to get into the playoff, man. So everything worked out the way it's supposed to work out, man. Fuck Bama. So it's all good.
All right. Let's talk about some teams that do matter, that are relevant, unlike Alabama. Actual relevant teams to the college football landscape who actually made the playoffs, who are here to play for a championship, unlike whatever it is they do down there in Bama. Can anybody out there tell that we're really fucking enjoying this? Because Clemson against Texas, Tennessee, Ohio State, SMU, Penn State, Indiana, Notre Dame. Those are our first matchups. We got both Arizona State and Boise State with buys. 2 teams that Boise State, looked like a solid team from the beginning. Still crazy that they're getting a bye. And Arizona State, nobody was checking for them at the beginning of the year. And not only did they make it, they got a fucking bye into this thing. And we fucking told you. I told you on the last episode. I was like, I don't know why you're putting fucking Texas in that damn bye, because they ain't beating fucking Georgia, and they didn't. They did a lot better this time. They gave it a great try, but nope, Georgia. And then, of course, the cleanest, most complete team in the nation, Oregon, with the number 1 seed, which is funny because they have, to me, a tougher path than all the other top 4 seeds. Out of those matchups, what do we think? Clemson and Texas. Tay.
I'm gonna go Texas. Texas is just a better team. Clemson sucks. Like I'm not gonna lie. They don't belong.
Damn.
Honestly, they don't belong. They don't belong. I'm not gonna lie. They suck. Like they're gonna get blown out. I wouldn't be like, out of all the playoff games, this is the blowout right here. Like they're gonna embarrass themselves. I'm not gonna lie. Like I can see them losing by 20, 30. Like they're gonna embarrass themselves out there. I don't see, they can't hang with Texas. Clemson cannot hang with Texas. Like, they got by, they made it. And congratulations to them and their families, but no. They can't hang with Texas at all.
They graduate all their players today. That's all I got to say. Facts. And didn't dip into the transfer portal. You know what? Before, you may be right. We should commend, we should mention that Clemson is the only fucking team other than the military academies that did not get anybody from the transfer portal. They believe in fucking using their own players that they recruited. Who's got better than us? Nobody. and they have an above 90% graduation rate, and they're in the fucking playoff. Like, motherfuckers talking about that Captain America shit. When the world says, goes against your convictions and says move, you stop and you say no, you move. That's what Clemson said. They might be getting moved though when they play Texas. But what do you think, Axe?
Yeah, I got Texas winning that game. Not really huge on Quinn Ewers, but I believe he'll get the job done against Clemson. I don't really think Klubnik's going to get off against Texas's defense. I think he might have a few turnovers. I got them winning by like 10. I don't think it's going to be a huge blowout. But I got them winning by like 10 points or so. Give me Texas.
I wouldn't be surprised if we're all sitting here next year. You got the young based god Arch out there fucking destroying shit, and we're all going to look back and say, did Texas waste a year? Did they waste a really good season, a really good roster? Because I agree with you, man. Quinn Ewers does nothing to me or for me, and does not look like a quarterback that you can make a championship run with the level of elite teams that they're going to be facing in this run. I don't know. I think there'll be some questions next season. Lee, what do you think? Who's you taking, man? Texas, Clemson.
Yeah, I'll take Clemson too. I mean, not Clemson, not Clemson. I'll take Texas. I'm taking taking Texas. I'm taking Texas. But there's one thing to keep an eye out on. We mentioned Ewers, statue in the pocket. There's a guy in Clemson named T.J. Parker who's got 11 sacks and 6 forced fumbles. If Clemson has a chance to win, he's got to be one of the reasons why. But I don't know. Texas, they do have the better offense, better defense, and the home field advantage, which
big fucking deal. It's wild that's happening. I think it's going to play a role in the next matchup we discuss.
I think home field is going to matter for all these games.
Oh, because home field, that's one of the only places that home field does matter anymore is the college football, and it's huge. So absolutely. And then looking forward to the future, I think Texas has a pretty overwhelming advantage over Arizona State too. Jeez. True. Texas, Clemson.
I don't even know why you asked me because it pains
me.
Yeah,
I was about to say, stand alone. Fuck that. Stand alone.
No.
Swinney.
You know what?
Good grades and their loyalty to their own players. They're gonna use all that, and they're gonna fucking rise up, and they're gonna fuck over Texas. Come on.
I'm trying to be coerced into saying it, but I can't. I can't lie.
That's really a hopeless situation.
I really hate it. I'm like internally, shedding tears at having to say this, but I think, man, I think Texas got it, man. I mean, not impressed by Clemson personally. Honestly, haven't been that impressed by them this year. So not that I've been super impressed by Texas either, because fuck Texas and the Longhorns. But
hey, you know what? Good for Texas though. They're going to finally get a ranked victory. That's crazy. That's good.
Yeah, right.
Next matchup, and this is going to be interesting here. Tennessee travels to frigid Ohio State, brings that high-flying offense in. This is an interesting matchup. To me, this is probably our most interesting matchup of the first round. Tennessee going to Ohio State. I don't know, man. I don't know how Ohio State's going to be feeling after that Michigan game. But Tennessee, as good as they look sometimes, they equally look like dog shit at other times. And they go fucking disappear. And it's going to be cold against a motivated team. Who can play ball control offense? I don't know, man. As much as it hurts me to say, I think I just can't trust Tennessee going into this environment to make this happen. They're just not there as a program yet. What do you think? I think I'm gonna have to take Ohio State. What do you think there, Tay?
No, I like Tennessee in this matchup.
Oh,
Yeah, I like
Lord.
Tennessee. I had high hopes for Tennessee before the season started. I like their offense. I like their offense. They got one of the best run games in college. It'll be close. It'll be one of those old school games because Tennessee would always find their way into in those kind of games. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Tennessee with the upset. I mean, it's not really an upset, but I'm gonna go with Tennessee. Like no one's gonna really expect Tennessee to come in there and handle business, but I think they can. I think they can hang with Ohio State. They can beat Ohio State. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Tennessee.
Lee Harvey. I think we know where you're going, but go ahead and give us why.
Yeah. All their only night game was against Western Michigan. I think they're going to be juiced up for this one.
Yeah, this is going to be crazy. This is going to be like unlike anything we've ever seen. We've ever seen before.
A home playoff game at night in Columbus.
Woo!
I mean, you don't get no better than that.
Nuts.
I shouldn't see an empty seat because this is what Buckeye fans been clamoring. They've been complaining about all season long that every one of their games started at noon. They like, okay, bet. Finally get a night game. That's all we wanted. Let's go.
Axe, what do you got, man?
It's tough, man. I think Ohio State's going to be motivated after the game. Now, on a side note,
that too.
If they put in that weak-ass felony thing for the flag planting, they can go to hell. I seen that tweet.
That's the gotten to Hall of Fame. You're trying to make something a fucking you're so gotten to. You're so upset. You're trying to make something like that a fucking felony. God damn, that's some bitch ass Karen calling the cops shit.
I don't approve of that, by the way.
But I think they'll be motivated. Like you said, Tennessee, you never know which Tennessee team you're going to get. I'm not sure if they could play in this type of weather. Like, that's yet to be seen. I think Jeremiah Smith has a big game, too. So I'm going to roll with Ohio State. It's not going to be a blowout, though. I'll see by like 10 because sometimes, like, Howard be on some bullshit, too. Like, he's very inconsistent as well. So I can't say they're going to comfortably win that game. But I do think the weather's going to play a factor. And I don't think Tennessee's ready for this type of moment. And Ryan Day really does he needs to win some big games. So, like, Ohio State fans, they you can win a lot of games. If you don't win the big ones, they're going to get on your scalp. And Lee can probably attest to it. Like, people start losing patience with Ryan Day.
Getting a little toasty up there.
Yes, it is.
True, what do you got?
I think it's a tough matchup, but I'm going to go. I think I'll go with Ohio State. Just feel like they're slightly stronger team, not by much, but I think they're a slightly stronger team. And yeah, I think I think they'll get it done. I don't want them to because I don't want any team that Lee supports to do well. But I'm gonna go.
Right.
But I've already said. I mean, I've already given credit to Texas. So this is like the worst show ever for me.
Yeah, this is a fucking hard time.
This is terrible. This is like horror. This is horror film. Terrible. So, yeah.
Our next matchup, interesting, because, well, you know what? I would say Penn State put on a hell of a performance against Oregon. I don't think any of us saw that coming. We were all in here laughing about it the week before, and then, Penn State kept it close. They kept, nudging it, and then they knocked back, nudging it, and then getting knocked back. That, to me, looked like a team that could put it on SMU, and SMU has to come to Happy Valley. You want to talk about some shit that we've never seen before. Holy fuck. Penn State, home game, playoff game. Going to be fucking bananas. That's going to be fucking crazy. I think the Cinderella story of SMU will be over, but they will always be remembered and be beloved by us as the team that made it so Alabama didn't get in. Thank you. Actually, it's probably Clemson, which by indirectly Syracuse is responsible for that. So, Penn State, SMU. What do you got, Tay?
I like Penn State. I like Penn State in that matchup. SMU, they're a good team. Like they're legit. They're the real deal. But I like Penn State. Penn State, they're gonna come in and handle business, especially in Penn State. That'll help them out a lot. It is really hard to play there. I think they're a better team. I think they're gonna run the ball really well. I think the defense will come through. Like they should beat them by about maybe 10. Nothing crazy.
If that does happen, that next round, Penn State, Boise State, that is going to be real interesting. But let's do this round first. Lee Harvey, Penn State, SMU.
I got Penn State too. Just imagine if they had the 8:00 game instead of Ohio State. That screams whiteout. But yeah. That was it. That was an encouraging game, even though they lost to Oregon. I was pretty impressed by the way they came back and made it a game against probably the best team in college football. So that should be an encouraging side for them going forward.
X, Penn State, SMU.
Yeah, I just think SMU's not ready for this moment. Great season, but I just believe Penn State is too deep. Defense is too good. Drew Aller, he's improved throughout the year.
Drew Aller is creeping up some boards, man. I don't know if he'll even be in the draft this year because he's still very young.
I hope not.
But he, man, the last few weeks is really, really starting to put it together. Some crazy tools, some crazy arm angles. Drew Aller, he's got a chance to. That's what I've heard people say. Might be able to make himself a hell of a lot of money over the next few weeks. We'll see what happens.
I think that would be a mistake. I think he needs one more year. But
yeah,
if he does ball out, I see what you're saying. But I don't know.
Especially this quarterback class is so well. The quarterback class next year is fucking ass cheeks. So if he looks good and then comes back, he could be the number one overall next year. So you're not wrong.
Whoa. Number one overall. That's Arch Manning.
Next year.
Yes. That's already checked off. That Arch Manning, going number one. That's a fact.
You think he's going to come out after 1 year?
Yeah, of course.
Maybe.
You know what his last name is?
Maybe.
Yeah,
you don't know how. Okay, you don't know how stuff like that works now, though, because those guys make money. They're not in a huge rush to leave.
That's true.
I know I know Arch Manning guys to be I think it's out there. I think he's making millions. Like
he's like top 5 and
yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if there's a huge rush to leave. True. Penn State, SMU.
I'm about damn tired of y'all making me have to go with teams that I hate or don't want to give props to.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
About sick of this shit today,
brother.
Yeah, about sick of this shit today. My heart wants me to go with SMU, but I'm not dumb. So I'm gonna go with Penn State. Begrudgingly.
It's okay. Hey, you know what? You just get through it this week. Because when the week comes, when it's Boise against Penn State, DAR is going to be in the fucking street, flipping over cars, breaking fucking windows, getting fucking wild, getting ready for that game.
Yeah.
Our last matchup. This is going to be a slobber knocker, to borrow a phrase. Going to be some belt to ass, some cans of whoop ass getting cracked open. Indiana and Notre Dame. I tell you, I know who you got, but any thoughts on potential threat here? Well, what do you think of the game?
No, I wouldn't say Indiana's a threat. You know, they had a cute season.
Oh man,
you know,
he said
it was
that's gonna be that. That'll be a piece of that'll be a sound bite we play again if they fucking win.
Yeah, it was cool, I guess, whatever. But nah, I don't think they can hang with Notre Dame. Notre Dame is different. I think Notre Dame is like one of the best teams in college football. Indiana's good. Like they're good, you know. It's hard to go 11-1 no matter the schedule. So I'm not gonna take everything away from them, but I don't know. I just don't see it. I don't see them going to Notre Dame, and nah, they just don't got it to me. Like they're gonna struggle. They're gonna struggle. Like I would say 21-10. That seems like that's a good score. That's a good score.
It's weakness against strength. You know, the Indiana defense is better than their offense. The offense is a little shaky, and the offense is going against a top 5 defense this year in Notre Dame. Arguably the best defense that's in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Oregon's defense is pretty good too. Lee, what do you think, man? Indiana, Notre Dame.
The last time we seen Indiana go up against a team like Notre Dame, they struggled. Yeah. They struggled. Yeah. And both are used to playing in cold weather. You know, it's supposed to be cold, right? Like, yeah, like Indiana, they played in cold.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I give the advantage to the Irish. Like they've been a juggernaut since they slipped up to Northern Illinois, and I don't think that's going to change.
Axe, anything to add?
Well, I think it'll be competitive off the strength that it's an in-state rivalry. A lot of Indiana players are probably going to be looking like, man, we got passed over, and they'll be motivated. Yeah. But I don't think they have the offense to keep up, and I just think Notre Dame will pull it out. Like Tate said, probably 21-13 type of game. I think it'll be low scoring. Like I said, it'll be motivation for the in-state rivalry. I would hope in the end we'll pull it off, but I think I'm rolling with Notre Dame.
True, last one.
Once again, making me choose a team I don't want to, but I feel like it's pretty obvious. I think Notre Dame is just a stronger team of the two. I don't really see any upsets happening really like that here, you know, in terms of SMU and Penn State and Notre Dame and Indiana. So I'm gonna go with Notre Dame. Like I said, this is not excited about this at all. You know, not excited about this at all. So.
Oh, well, something all of you can get excited about is everything we have going on here at DAR Sports Media. We got the NBA show already up. The NFL show was rocking and rolling. We already got some good comments, some good feedback on that one from last night. Those two are already up on the page. You got this, me and True, sometime soon, maybe this weekend, getting together for some weekend wrestling. Of course, the Medium site is always crushing it. Articles coming out that, you know, the numbers are flying up. Definitely waste that time before you take a little winter vacation for the holidays. You know, nobody, if your boss expects you to get any work done in the whole month of December, they can fuck off. What you need to be doing is sitting at your desk reading these DAR Sports Media Medium site articles. Soul Revival 6 is, of course, everywhere every streaming platform you can think of for the music side of things. And me and True have been discussing. We might have some little mini bonus content to drop on the days when we don't have the big pods, just to hold you guys over. Some comedic stuff, some fun stuff to listen to. Possibly coming up pretty soon. So be on the lookout for that. It's actually probably not going to be, some of it'll be sports based, some of it not. It's just something to slide you through your day, just to check out on days when we don't have big stuff coming out. As you can see, we're adding stuff. Spring football's in sight. Our work with the United Football Media coming up soon. The Medium site, the music side. football, college football, basketball. It's all there, and that is because the world of DAR never stops.